Don't be so quick to walk away. This is me. I wanna rock your body.
Hey! Oh, I'm back. And we're going to read more Reddit stories because the last one was really fun. And last time I said I was going to do the toxic friendship one, but I want to have like one of my friends to be in the video, so I'm going to ask one of them to be in it. But for now, we're going to do a toxic relationship edition Reddit stories. Am I overreacting? Read along with my boyfriend.
Hi.
Oh no, my words might be kind of jumbled up. I only took 3 sips of this thing. I tried making a martini.
A juice martini.
It's not
YouTube.
juice.
It's juice.
It's because the thing asked for 10 shots. I was like, I ain't gonna put 10 shots of vodka in there. So I just put 6 and it's still strong. And I poured a whole bunch of olive juice and like the extra stuff that it's not the greatest thing. But I need to drink it. So anyway, let's get into it. The first one is, am I overreacting? Contact lenses in my apartment. I don't wear contacts.
Oh, shoot.
Alright, and then I'll post the pictures and the screenshots of what we're looking at right now. I was staying with my boyfriend for a couple of days and then was busy at work for a couple of days. So I just noticed these in my room on my bathroom door. They look like contacts and neither me or my boyfriend wear contacts and he's the only person that's been there. Is this suspicious? First of all, why are there contact lenses stuck on the freaking door? Who just takes them out and flicks them? I mean, it's probably satisfying to do, but like, why would you do that?
Yeah, no, that's weird.
And if you look, they're all like crystallified, or what is it called whenever it hardens?
Oh, I don't know. You're the eye doctor.
Well, I mean, there's nothing specific to the contact lens. It's just like whenever things sit out and they like crystallize. Crystallify. I don't know.
Crystallize. Harden.
Anyways, they're just dry and crusty. I don't see how they're still sticking to that door.
I mean, that's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. That's terrifying though. If they're the only ones that are in that apartment.
I feel like
landlord, maybe.
Why would the landlord just go in there and just flick their contacts on the door?
True. What about maintenance? You know?
Babe, that doesn't make any sense.
Maintenance, maybe, you know?
No. I would be suspicious because then what if she's at work all day, he's at work all day, but then he has someone come. I don't know. It is suspicious for sure. But I don't know what type of, like, thing to pin it to or what other possibilities there could be for there to be contact lenses stuck on the door if y'all don't wear contacts. What do you think?
It could be, like, a stalker, you know?
No! Oh my god. Why would it? Okay.
It could be a stalker, you know, someone coming in there and, like, trying to mark their territory or like, hey, I'm here. Or maybe the boyfriend entertaining friends or something at her apartment if he has a key.
That one makes sense. Yeah.
Or he's cheating on her at her apartment and she's trying to warn the girl and that's the warning.
Well, no, some girls just do that because they're like showing that there is another girl there, if that makes any sense. So like that's what if, like for example, like say you're like talking to a girl or multiple girls and you're driving around and one girl leaves like a hair tie or earring or something in the car, so that they're letting the girl know like, hey, there's somebody else in the car, like there's like another girl that be not doing stuff, but like just there's another girl in the area in the car, and like that's just proof that I guess it's kind of like a marking their territory type thing.
Yeah, probably.
Well, that's weird. Why is she doing that in this girl's house? Unless he lied to the girl, was like, this is my place.
Then why would she do that though?
Girls do that. They're just like, oh well, I'm gonna just leave this here. Just so, like, if there's another girl, then the other girl knows that there's a girl that's been here.
Just flick it on the door, though?
Maybe that was just something to be petty about.
I guess.
I don't know. But is she or are they overreacting? No, because I'd be suspicious about it, too.
Hell yeah, it could be a stalker, a murderer, cheating.
But
There's a lot of things that could be with that.
I don't think it's stalking. I think it's mostly like cheating or something. Or it could be a friend thing, like you said.
Yeah.
Realistically, I don't think people get stalked. I mean, they get stalked a lot, but I don't think any stalker would just go and flick their contact lenses on doors.
That's true, but still, better to be safe than sorry.
What do you mean?
Better to be safe than sorry. You better find out, have a camera or something.
Oh yeah.
Set
that's
some
true.
stuff up.
I don't know. But in the comments, people are like, not overreacting. Definitely mention it to him. One thing for them to be on the floor, but to be sticking on the door like that is sus. LOL. For real.
Yeah. There's another comment that says, what the hell? Do you have neighbors that might have a Ring doorbell? This would be scary as hell to come home to. And yeah, it would. It'll be like, what the heck?
I don't know. That is a good question. Like, she should ask the neighbor. Ooh! Jeez, that would be a crazy way to find out that if your significant other was cheating by asking the neighbor for the Ring doorbell camera. Can you see the evidence of them walking into the crib together?
No, that could do it. That could work.
Mm-mm.
Hopefully the neighbor does have a Ring doorbell camera.
That's a good idea, though, to ask.
Yeah.
Alright, but overall, we say that they're not overreacting and that she should ask further questions, to the boyfriend, which she should have done that before she got on here. On Reddit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Am I overreacting for being upset about my girlfriend oversharing? I'm not entirely sure if my reaction is justified, so I need some outside perspective. Recently, one of my friends started talking with my girlfriend purely as friends, nothing more. Initially, I thought it was cool that she was getting along with my buddies, and I even encouraged a bit of a lighthearted banter. They shared jokes and engaged in some guy talk that at first seemed harmless. But things took an unexpected turn during one conversation. In the midst of their jokes, she mentioned a very personal detail, that she had bleached her booty hole. I'm sorry. That she had bleached her booty hole. For me, that crossed the line. I felt it was an intimate detail that should have stayed between us. I ended up feeling really uncomfortable and even a bit betrayed by the oversharing. When I brought it up, she brushed it off as just being open and fun. Now I'm left wondering, am I overreacting here? Should personal details like that remain private, or is it just a harmless slip in the spirit of being friendly? Why would she be bold enough to express to her boyfriend's friend that her booty hole is bleached? That's something personal. That's weird.
I get, explaining that something to your, close friends, but your boyfriend's friend is, that's doing too much.
That is doing too much.
Why? There's no purpose for you to just be like, oh yeah, my booty hole's bleached. Like, what?
Yeah. That's weird.
That is weird.
I honestly don't think he's overreacting. I feel like he should talk to her. Oh, no, he already did, and she brushed it off.
And then that's their issue, too. She shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but also, I feel like, since she brushed it off, and he's still bothered by it, mention it again and talk to her. Because then, if her just brushing it off, and you just like, oh, okay, well, she doesn't want to talk about it. No. Stand your ground and, speak up for yourself and talk to her like, hey, I didn't like that. I didn't like how that made me feel.
Yeah.
Try to find a solution from it and try to move on from that situation.
Yeah, if y'all have personal stuff that you don't want out in public, then tell her. Like, hey, that's too personal, that's too intimate. I don't like you talking to my friends about that.
Mm-hmm.
And if she doesn't understand that, then it might be time to find someone else, because that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So, he's not overreacting. He should just talk to her again about the situation because it's bothering him.
Mm-hmm.
You want to read what some of the people in the comments said?
Sharing about the bleached butthole with a guy friend of the boyfriend is just too weird.
It is weird.
It's weird. Here's another one. It's a female this time.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, female here. For me, I wouldn't share that kind of information as it's kind of inviting the friend to think about you in a sexual way.
Mm-hmm.
And as a courtesy to the boyfriend, wouldn't you want to avoid that if at all possible? Her saying that, it just seems disloyal. I don't know. To me, it seems like a way to open the door to other more explicit comments, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. It's
You do
like,
too.
yeah, it's like I bleached my butthole. and then it's like that brings up to the conversation, oh yeah, like can I see? You know, type thing, or
Yeah.
something like, oh yeah, really? Should I get my stuff waxed? You know, or
Yeah.
then they start talking about their private parts, and it's like,
weird.
yeah, nah, that's too weird.
So again, overall, he's not overreacting, and I personally think he should try to communicate with her again. What do you think?
That or just hit the road, Jack.
I guess. Alright, that's it for that one. Next one. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend's girlfriend. Okay. My boyfriend's girlfriend sends him selfies asking for his opinion. Ugh, okay. My boyfriend's close friend would send him photos of herself wearing different jewelry and clothing, or photos of bags, and ask him which one he prefers, and she normally always ends up buying/wearing the ones he chooses. I understand they are close friends, and I know I have jealousy issues, but I feel so bothered by this. He knows I have an issue with his friendship with her, but I haven't specifically brought this up with him just because I don't want to fight. Am I overreacting? Again, if you don't like it, you don't like it. And then she said that he knows about how she feels with that friend, right? Yeah, he knows I have an issue with his friendship with her. Yeah. So I don't know if he sees an issue with it, or he knows that you have an issue with it, and you kind of set that boundary, or you just let him know he should kind of chill out a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah. Then it's your partner, so if you're uncomfortable with the situation, then you should address it and figure out a way to resolve it.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation. If you feel uncomfortable or a type of way, figure out a way to resolve the issue. So, I don't know. That's a weird situation to be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of hard. Is she overreacting? It's kind of hard to say.
I say maybe a little bit, but then again, just have the talk. And if you don't want her to send her boyfriend pictures anymore, have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I don't want no more pictures. I don't want you to send me any more pictures because my girlfriend doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Simple
Be
as
honest, yeah. Read some comments.
My best friend is a guy, and he sends me pictures of his outfits, asking my opinion. He likes to look good for his wife. He works out of town and only sees her like every other weekend. Right now, I don't ask his opinion, but his sense of style is questionable at best. I will say that he went shopping for prom with me and helped me pick out a revenge dress. My high school boyfriend dumped me 2 weeks before prom, so I was out for blood. All that said, if it makes you uncomfortable, please communicate it. But if she isn't sending him half naked pictures and he isn't hiding their intentions, I wouldn't be concerned.
Yeah, I guess, but again, you feel the way you feel.
Yeah, if it makes you uncomfortable, communicate it. But also, yeah, that's true. If you ain't sending half naked pictures, And it's like, all right, I guess. But if it makes you feel uncomfortable, yeah, talk about it. Like, hey, I don't like it.
Alright. Yep. I agree with that. Oh, do I agree with that comment? Yes and no. I think I have the same thoughts that you do. You know,
Yeah.
like at least it's not anything bad. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. So yeah, just talk to him. We'll go to the next one. Am I overreacting? She asked my husband to strip at her party.
What the hell?
So my husband went to a little get together with some coworkers / friends at his coworker's house while I was out of town. It was just him, his 2 friends, one friend's wife, and the other friend's ex-girlfriend. They drank, but it sounded like it was pretty chill, and I was glad he had fun. Fast forward to the next week, and I see my husband's lock screen that he has Snapchats from his friend's ex, who he had never met before that night. I asked him about it, and he said she added him, and he didn't think anything of it. And he opened the message, and it was her asking him if he would strip at her party because she couldn't think of anyone else. Mind you, she knows he's married, with kids. He certainly does not give stripper vibes at all. I told him I didn't care if he kept her on Snapchat, but then she snapped him random crap every day for 3 days straight. He wasn't even responding, but I finally just asked him to delete her because I was feeling uncomfortable. He did so without any protest and agreed it was weird that she seemed to be pursuing him, knowing he is married. Anyway, she is always at the little parties that his coworker throws, and we have been invited to a few. I'm worried it would be awkward since she obviously knows he ignored her and unadded her. Do you think I overreacted and should have just left it to avoid any weirdness in the future? I thought it was pretty disrespectful of her and just wanted to get some outside perspective on it.
Hell no. That is weird.
Yeah, that is weird, but honestly, if I was the wife, I'd be like, yeah, let's go to the parties. And then I'd be looking at her dirty the whole time, because what business do you have asking my man to be a stripper at your party?
How much she gonna pay?
No, she's married. She clearly didn't like it.
Yeah, that's
and
wild.
he's married, and he even thought it was weird.
It is. Like, how you gonna ask a married man to strip for you at a party? Like, knowing he's married with kids. And, I mean, the kids part doesn't really matter that much, but he's married. Knowing he's married. And you're like, hey...
Can you strip at my party?
Can you strip at my
party? I can't think of anybody else.
That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. She can't think of anyone else.
When she can literally just hire a stripper.
Legit. Shoot, she could even talk to her ex.
Yep. And then also for her to like Snapchat him a few times 3 days straight.
After he's been ignoring her.
Yeah, she like him. And then who's to say it's an actual party? Maybe she's just saying it's a party between her and him.
Yep.
Freaky frog. I would get so mad. You're not overreacting. And I would, you know what? I would go to those parties that you're all invited to. Because what's she gonna do? She ain't gonna tell you nothing. Then you could just fall and be like, yeah, you thought you could get him, but you can't. That's like the most satisfying feeling ever.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I would go. I'd be like, yeah, let's go, babe, let's go. Then I'd be like, okay, when we're there, you need to be hugged up on me the whole time, kiss up on me and everything.
One of the comments says, no, you did not overreact. She's being inappropriate. Yep, she really is. And then another one said, oh, it should be awkward for her. If I were you,
yeah.
I'd just stroll in there next time and project as much confidence as possible. Yo.
I'd even have like, if it was you and me, I'd have you wear the most, like, sexiest thing that I think that looks good on you. Walk in, and then me be all up on you, like,
oh, yeah.
Be like, yeah, no, there's no way. I mean, but I understand because I've been in situations like that plenty of times. And it is a weird, uncomfortable feeling, but in the moment, like, especially if it's in person, in the moment, you don't know what to do. But then afterwards, you're like, dang it, I should have did this. I'm like, dang it, I should have done that. But, I don't know. Since it was, like, through social media and stuff, I feel like, I don't know, your husband did the right thing and respected your boundaries, and he unfriended her and everything, which was great.
Yeah, and you're not overreacting at all, because that's weird. That's wild.
Yeah, so, yeah.
She should not have said that nor done that at all.
Yeah, and don't be scared to go to them parties. I want to go and get free drinks and stuff at those parties. Just go, ignore her. If anything, you don't even have to try to show off. You could literally just imagine her not being there. And I know that girl sounds pretty bold, so I'm certain that she would probably walk up and approach the husband and try to talk to him.
Yep.
But again, like, with your husband already knowing that you didn't like that situation and stuff, I'm sure he would find a way to, like, prevent it or, like, just kind of, like, shoo her away, you know? He seems super respectful.
He does. He unfriended her without protesting or anything like that. He was like, alright. He seemed fine with it.
Yeah. So yeah, girl, you ain't overreacting. Go to the next one. Or you want to read a comment?
I kind of want to read this one.
Okay.
It said, not overreacting. The way that girl acted was super uncool. Props to you for not being dramatic over this and trusting your husband. She probably just loves attention. Some people have a thing for married people. It boosts their ego. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. We didn't even acknowledge her part for not going crazy and being dramatic. She was just unfriend her. And he was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, say less, shawty.
She wasn't being dramatic or anything. She was just like, hey. And she trusted her husband. Yeah, we got to acknowledge that too. Because most of these people on here have not been trusting their partner whatsoever.
Yeah, because she even said, she was just like, I'm glad he had a good time while I was out of town. But this and that happened, you know?
Yeah.
So he didn't, like, she didn't go and blame the husband like most people do, you know?
And he wasn't hiding any messages or nothing. He was just like, she just added me. I didn't think nothing of it. And then that question popped up. It was like, what the hell? And
it's already kind of suspicious because why is his friend hanging out with his ex-girlfriend still?
Maybe they're friends with benefits.
It don't matter. Even then, what person brings their friends with benefits around other people? You know, like around their friends.
The ones that they find like better than others, probably. I don't know.
I don't know that logic. That's dumb. But next one. Am I overreacting for getting upset at my girlfriend when she texts guys who like her?
What?
Me, 19, and my girlfriend, 20, have been dating for about 4 months now. We met 5 months back in the hostel we live in as we go to the same college. My girlfriend is a very pretty person and gets a lot of male attention even when she doesn't enjoy it. A lot of guys talk to her to pursue her, and one of them, S, we'll call him S, even asked her out through a friend. She said no, and he couldn't really take the no for an answer. His friend repeatedly texted her to give him a chance and that he's serious. After she directly said no a few more times, this mess finally ended. His friend even reached out to me to ask me if I want to set S and her up, to which I had to repeatedly say no to.
What the hell?
He later texted her a couple of times and she refuses to ignore his texts. He even texted her today asking her how his seminar was. I asked why she thinks she should respond to him. She says she can't ignore every guy who is interested in her because she can't live in a society like that. She also said that if she flat out ignores the guys who are hitting on her, they'll all be about her and call her every name under the sun. So, am I overreacting for getting upset when she does this? No!
What the hell?
What kind of logic is that? It just sounds like she just likes the male attention.
She's insecure and she likes attention. She likes attention, 100%. That or they in college. She's trying to explore.
But explore single.
Yeah, I agree. Explore single.
But also there are people that are like, oh, well, I'll just go around and scope out and talk to all these people, but I'll always have this one person to fall back on. Yep. I'll always keep this person to fall back on. That's not right for that person they're falling back on. Yep.
I have a safety net. I can
go back.
Keep this person because this was my domestic partner that I can start a family with,
Mhm.
but they're not the excitement.
Yeah, they're like, I could try.
This person's the excitement, so let me just keep a hold on this one, and let me go out and get some excitement. If you want something like that, get in an open relationship. Don't drag someone along and cheat on them like that.
Yeah, so we ain't overreacting. I feel like at that point, it just sounds like she's not ever gonna like take your word and stop texting those guys, because clearly she just said that if they keep texting her, she's gonna respond because she doesn't want them to go around saying bad stuff about her. Like, who cares? Who cares what they gotta say?
Yeah.
Because if anything, you're with your boyfriend. He's not gonna care. He's, if anything, probably gonna defend you if they do say something.
And what's wrong with ignoring them? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Oh, I don't want to live in a society like that. Like, what? Just ignore them.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with ignoring people. Ignoring people that are actively hitting on you.
Yes, and even
And
going to the
actively
boyfriend.
asking you out, and asking your boyfriend to ask you out for. That's some bold. Oh my goodness.
That's bold.
That's some bold. You gotta admire the stones on that dude.
Idiot.
I would have fought.
You would have
Yeah,
fought.
who the hell are you to come to me to ask my girlfriend out for you? Nah, we throwing hands. What the hell? Oh shoot! One of the comments is they said. Ugh. One of the comments said, "You're not overreacting. As a former 19-year-old girl who thrived on male attention, she's doing it because it makes her feel desirable, and for some dumb reason, that's what most girls want at that age. That mindset and action is 100% disrespectful to you and your relationship and can be very damaging. You are right to be bothered by it because she's only doing it for the attention he gives. Even if she would never actually give him a chance or do anything with him, it could be considered emotionally cheating depending on the relationship dynamic." Yeah.
Agreed.
100%.
You ain't overreacting. Just dump that girl.
Yeah. The amount of people saying you're overreacting is nuts.
What? People are saying that he's overreacting?
Hold on. The amount of people saying you're overreacting is nuts. Your girlfriend loves the attention and you're not overreacting. Yeah.
Agreed.
The majority of these are saying that he is not overreacting. So I guess there's a small few that are like,
overreacting.
you're overreacting, and then someone was reading that and was like, nah, even one person saying you're overreacting is crazy.
Alright, on to the next. Am I overreacting for being mad at him? My ex is really stressing me out. I'm trying to be nice and be a good friend, but he is so petty. Like, I've had such a busy week and he gets mad when I don't answer him after an hour and deletes the snap and says okay or something like stop. I answer when I can. I guess he wants me to be like, no, I'm sorry, like I was when we were together. But we broke up because we were both drained and he never talked to me anymore. And I just don't have the energy to be a lover girl right now. I don't want to hurt him. I love him, but I just have gained a new respect for myself recently where I just call people out on their BS. And I feel like I'm being mean and awful because of it. And I told him I'm sorry, I answer you when I can. I hope you have a good day. And he's like, I don't like how you're positive all the time. Life isn't all rainbows. Like, excuse me? I spent my entire life fighting to get to the mindset I have today. And I don't really care if you don't like it. Like, we get along great, but I don't know why. But when he just gets mad, I don't answer it. Makes me so mad. Girl, stop talking to your ex. That's where you could have... I don't know.
I understand you still love the person and you still have feelings for them and you want them to do good. You want them to be happy, successful, blah, 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 blah. But if they're dragging you down, emotionally damaging you, and trying to get you out of the positive mindset that you have now,
That you worked on.
yeah, on bettering yourself, if they're trying to drag you down and get you out of bettering yourself, you need to just stop talking to that person. That's not a romantic situation. That's just like it's better for your mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, just leave it alone.
Yeah, because y'all broke up. Because, I mean, you stated why y'all broke up, but it's like, okay, well, y'all broke up. And then he's over here being mean, and you already tried being friends with him, and it's not working out, and he's making you mad, then what's the point of keeping that friendship? And yeah, like you said, like, she said that she still loves him, but it's like, there's going to be a point where you're going to have to let go.
Yeah, love him from a distance.
Yeah, because even like her still talking to him and like her still having that like love for him, even though she doesn't want to be in a relationship, but she still has that sentimental,
connection.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's more hurtful because she still loves him and he's over there saying ugly stuff to her like that.
Yeah.
And it's not right.
He's trying to push her back into how she once was so they can get back in the relationship and he can control the dynamic again. But she's just trying to better herself and she realized like, hey, I need to heal. I need to do better for myself. I need to be in a better mindset because where I'm at right now is just not it. And she originally realized that and broke up with him.
Yeah.
And that could be subconscious, that could not be subconscious, that could be whatever it is. Regardless, she realized that she had to break up with him so she could get on the right track to better herself. So now she just needs to take the other step and just let him go. Like I said, love him from a distance. Hopefully he does good, but focus on yourself. Remove yourself out of the situation and thrive.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like she'd do way better if she just wasn't with him. Yeah. And then someone in the comments said, he's your ex. He should not care if you don't respond immediately. And you shouldn't care if he cares.
True.
Yeah.
True.
You're very true. Another one said, you aren't overreacting. Personally, I wouldn't even bother staying in contact with him. Deleting snaps and saying passive aggressive things only after an hour of you not responding is just outright childish and not worth your time. Sounds like an overall negative person saying, I don't like how you are positive all the time. You'll be better off ignoring him and moving on with your opinion. You'll be better off ignoring him and moving on, in my opinion. And I 100% agree.
I agree. So, is she overreacting?
No.
No. Should he let him go? Yes.
Hell yeah. Just move on.
Move on. Okay. Next one. So this is going to be our last one because my camera's about to die. Okay. But this is a text message one, so I'm going to put the text messages. Let's go over a little bit. Ooh! Okay, we're going to put the text messages up right here, and then me and DeLeon are going to switch off when we read them. So we can clarify which one's the boy and the girl. The title of this one is, Am I Overreacting for Being Upset with My Boyfriend? And she put on the bottom, I graduated last year. My boyfriend is still in college and should graduate in the spring. He didn't want to do long distance, but I went home because my grandma has dementia, and I wanted to spend time with her. I arrived yesterday, spent the morning with his grandma since he doesn't have a car and was in class. She picked him up after and dropped us off at his mom's apartment where he lives. He wanted to sleep together and I said no because I was tired and whatnot. He got mad and said that Smex is expected and accused me of cheating on him. This morning, I asked him why I would spend money and time to come see him if I was cheating on him. He said women do it all the time, and men find out years later that their kids aren't theirs, and that's why men unalive their families. I'm still really upset, and texted him. This was his response. Is his behavior responsible? I feel like he is acting crazy. From reading that, what the freak? Okay, but okay, let's go to the text. I'm sorry. Okay, so here you go.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna read her part, and DeLeon's gonna read his part. So I'm really upset. I love you so much. I spend money and time to come see you, and you're upset that I won't have sex with you and accuse me of cheating. I feel effing awful. I'm devastated.
Do you need money to order food?
Everything I let go, choosing my clothes, not liking my friends, mad at me for going home to see my family, mad at me for not going to the doctors, not wanting me to get more piercings that I want, making weird comments about me tutoring, and you think I would cheat and come see you? And you say that you are a man, and there are temptations every day, and you're worried about me cheating? I need you to be nicer to me. I'm sorry, I don't know what to do anymore. I love you so much, I would never treat you this way.
I told you I wouldn't feel safe in a long distance relationship, and now it makes me a little insecure, just like I told you. And literally, any and every man on the planet would experience temptation after months without physical touch, so don't try to act like I'm some monster.
What do you mean, temptation?
Because I'm walking around constantly in the mood AF because you're not here to freak, and I see these women walking around on campus with their assets all out, and I'm like, dang, somebody somewhere is getting action, and it's definitely not me. Everybody is understanding of a woman's hormones when she's a massive B word for a whole week out of every month, but you're judging me, an adult male whose biological purpose is to reproduce, for being in the mood after not seeing my girlfriend for months? That's crazy.
You're not overreacting for being upset with your boyfriend. You just need to break up with him. Cause what the heck?
That's
What
crazy.
kind of mentality is he on? That's toxic. Oh my god. What you gotta say about it?
Oh my goodness, that is. First of all, he didn't have to name call all those women like that.
He called them hoochies.
He didn't have to name call them like that. He didn't have to say you're being a massive B word whenever it's your time of the month. Like, that's messed up. And I get it. You know, SMEX is important in a relationship. But also at the same time, so is understanding and respecting your partner.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like he's not, and he's only thinking about himself. He's not really thinking about her.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, she's going through some stuff right now.
Yeah.
You know, like her grandma has dementia. That is very traumatic. It's difficult, you know, and it's very sad, upsetting. I would expect you to not be in the mood.
Yeah, because you're
during that time, because you're going through that. Then again, I mean, I kind of understand him too. He's in the mood, you know. He's not dealing with that. He's in the mood. He's far away from his girlfriend, no physical touch. So I understand him being frustrated, but also at the same time, it's like, you could have said that better. You could have done something better. Didn't have to freak out like that. And this conversation could have gone in a better direction.
Yeah, instead of him accusing her of cheating, even though she's going through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then if anything, I'm sure if he just gave it time and was like, being there to support her and all that stuff, he'd get some soon. But it's just what the.
But also, not only that, if he's not comfortable with a long distance relationship, he should have just broken up with her.
Yeah, but I mean, it just kind of sounds like he just really wants her for one thing because he possibly knows that they're not gonna last. Because clearly they're not gonna have a long distance relationship, so
For long.
he's probably thinking like, oh, she's gonna leave anyway, so I'll just use her for this until then.
Probably. And, well, I don't get that. Why not just break up with her and find someone else? Because he said there's all these women walking around with their, assets out. So go find one of them if you're really
In the mood.
Yeah, break up with your girl with her first, and go then, find them if you really in the mood. Because apparently they there, If you got game enough, you can get one.
Yeah, but I mean, clearly from how he's acting, he clearly ain't got no game. He's honestly lucky to have the girl that he has now. Especially for her to be dealing with all his crap, because I'm positive this isn't the only crazy situation she's gone through with him.
Probably.
He sounds extremely, selfish and inconsiderate.
Yeah.
And so I think this is just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. Like, it's just like a breaking point for her.
Comment said, "Ew, hoochies would be the end for me. He's definitely projecting the cheating thing onto you. If he hasn't already cheated, it's coming. Just let go and let God, to be honest."
I don't think he's gonna cheat. Honestly, I just think that he's just trying to use her. No, honestly, I feel like the situation is that he's gonna keep complaining. He could possibly cheat. Actually, just thinking about. Sorry, I don't know. My freaking drink is. Anyways, but I'm gonna scratch that out. But I don't know. Again, I don't really think he could cheat. Because if he could cheat, he probably would have cheated a long time ago. Because it's just how he's acting.
Yeah. Someone said this guy sounds like a moron. And another one was like, nah, more like psychotic, get out.
Ooh.
Dang. The only part that I could kind of really agree with, well, there were certain parts where I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I can understand that. Yada, yada, yada. He also sounds very insecure. And one of the parts that I can kind of get with why he's so insecure is because that part where he's like, women cheat and the men don't find out till 50 years later. I've heard from my cousin who was an ER nurse. He said there has been multiple times where the elderly women have told him that the man that they are married with think that the child is theirs when it's not, on their deathbeds. And paternity fraud is a thing. So I was like, but women don't all be cheating like that.
And also, not every single person that finds out 50 years later unalives their family because of it.
Yeah, that too. No.
He just sounds dangerous because if he's mentioning that, I'm sure that he probably would have done that if he found out. But also, I don't know. He just sounds like an idiot to me.
Yeah, but also, if he's uncomfortable, it sounds like they had a conversation about this long distance relationship. And it seems like she wanted to stay together and he kind of didn't. And so he said, I'm uncomfortable with a long distance relationship. And he's like, I told you I don't feel safe, and it makes me feel insecure. So he already stated that.
Yeah.
So they either need to break up or they need to figure out a way to where it's no longer long distance.
Yeah.
One or the other. Simple as that. Just break up or find a way to figure out how to not be long distance anymore. But regardless, you're not overreacting. Your boyfriend could be more understanding of the situation you're going through, and
there's so much stress involved with it. Yeah, like we mentioned, with the dementia with your grandma, figure out their relationship and what they want to do, because that's extremely stressful to try to figure out, to work around long distance, and it's no, we don't want long distance.
Yeah, your partner's emotions and feelings need to come first. And you need to be in a good... Because if you're not in a good mood, whenever it's time to be in the mood and do the deed, you're not gonna enjoy it. You're not gonna have fun. Why would you want to do that whenever your partner's not enjoying themselves?
Yeah, it'd feel more like a chore for the other person. What an idiot. So yeah, girl. It's okay for you to be upset. You ain't overreacting. You have the right to be upset. He just sounds childish, and I suggest you cut things off with him now before something later on like happens or something gets worse. He sounds super crazy. For him to even mention the unaliving part with the family, that is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the comments are saying, run, he's probably already cheating.
Oof. I honestly don't think he got it like that. I don't think he's cheating. I don't think he's cheating. But yeah. Alright guys, that sums up today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed these crazy Reddit am I overreacting questions, because I find these extremely interesting and I still be reading them throughout the day at work. Even though I should be working, but they be really juicy sometimes. They be real juicy.
Yeah, like that last one.
Yeah. And I enjoy reading it with my boyfriend too, because I like to see his perspective on things. And yeah, I also want y'all to comment y'all's perspective of these situations too. Like, what would y'all do in this situation? What advice would you give the person asking these questions? Yeah, put it down below. But yeah, thank y'all for watching.
You're so quick to walk away.
And yeah, bye.